Hello and welcome back. So since the last one, I actually did a little bit of exploring off camera, and I collected the final Animalculus in Mondstadt. So now I can finally have the full stamina that you get from the Animalculus, and I'll go ahead and just upgrade that right now. Now as you also saw there, I also got Adventure Rank 45, which allows you to ascend to the Ascension quest here. Now apparently in version 4.0, I believe it was somewhere around there, they changed the Ascension quest. Before it used to be quite easy. It was just a trial you had to do, and you had to defeat an electro hypostasis. But apparently the quest is actually a lot harder now, so today I'm going to see how difficult it actually is. I actually don't know what to expect of this Ascension quest, so I guess we're just going to have to go and see what it's like. Now I also did some changes to my setup here. I switched back to Barbara because Charlotte wasn't really working that well, but I think over time I might switch back to Charlotte. I put new artifact pieces on everybody. I managed to farm a 4-piece Iridescent set on Traveler here. For Xiangling, I got a pretty nice pyro damage goblet. It doesn't look very good, but for an account like this, it's fine. Then for Verena, I put these artifact pieces on her. Upgraded the flower especially just to give her a little bit of flat HP. Very useful on her when you're trying to build her up. And then Barbara, it doesn't really matter what you put on her, as long as she has some HP, a little bit of healing bonus, she's good to go. Now another thing I did do off camera was collect some talent books for Xiangling and Verena. So it looks like I could just upgrade her Pyronado. A big upgrade to Xiangling just because of how her kit works. Hopefully level 5 will be enough to get her to the Ascension quest. Let's see how she performs. One thing I could do is beat up the Hydrotopla a few times just to get the materials to get her to level 70. But since Verena's already really broken, I probably don't have to do that. But if the Ascension quest is too difficult, then I'll go upgrade her and come back and see how it goes. Alright, so yeah, let's see how this Ascension quest goes. Now, according to some people, the Ascension quest is actually pretty difficult ever since it's been updated. So we'll have to see for ourselves how difficult it actually is. So it still looks like a very similar domain to the one used before. Let's just hope that the monsters they throw at us are not extremely difficult. Okay, so it also looks like you have to defeat these Hilichurls. Before you could just skip right through it, but I guess this is one change that they did. Alright, so here we go. Let's see what this is all about. 2 minutes to defeat all of these monsters here. Okay. It can't be too hard, right? I have the Pyro Archon and I also have the Hydro Archon. So, should not be too challenging, right? Up next, it looks like a Ruin Guard. Kinda wish I had a bow character right now, but whatever. I also don't expect this to be the only challenge because this looks a little bit too easy right now. Kind of does seem like a DPS check though, so I'm going to have to be quick. My hope is that I have enough time to actually defeat these three. If I don't, then I'm gonna have to start over. 24 seconds. Do I have enough damage? Let me see. It's pretty close. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it looks like what people said, they changed it. It was actually not that much of a change. Before you had to fight an electro hypostasis, but this time it was just a few monsters. Maybe it's the next Ascension quest that people are talking about because this did not seem very difficult. Yes, I was low on time, but that was just because my characters are pretty under-leveled. But I don't know, when I get to Adventure Rank 50, I'll see for myself. Anyway, that does it for the Ascension quest, so we can get out of here. And let's upgrade some of our characters because that was a little bit too close. Also, we can claim our Adventure Rank reward, so let's go and do that. 125 Primo Gems, 2 of these gemstones to Ascend Traveler, and 2 fragile resin, some materials. Upgrading Traveler is actually a pretty big upgrade though, because this will allow me to hit higher numbers. It looks like I do have to collect more of these Windwheel Asters, as well as get more of these masks. So yeah, let's go Ascend Traveler first, and then we'll work on the other characters in our party. I do plan on keeping Traveler in my party for a long time, just because it's a pretty good investment when you're using a character from the beginning, and Traveler is okay. Definitely not one of the characters that is going to be permanent in your party, unless you really like to use a Traveler, but on this account, I don't really have a choice. I could swap him for someone else, but he's going to be my first level 90 character probably, so it's just good to keep him in the party. Okay, so I wasn't really paying attention when I looked at this. I have to be Adventure Rank 50. I'm only Adventure Rank 45 right now, but at least I won't have to worry about the material when the time comes. Anyway, we're gonna pretend like that didn't happen, so let's just upgrade Farina instead. So what we can do right now is fight the Hydrotopla. I will have to switch parties though, because Farina doesn't do anything against that boss. So I'll figure something out, and I will be right back. So I just switched back to the team I was previously using, the one with Kale. I might use Kale in the future, just because Dendro is Dendro. So once I get more Electro characters, I'll probably build a Dendro team as well, and start to battle more difficult monsters. This team that I'm currently using was kind of like a temporary solution, so it was just a team I threw together just to deal with a little bit of more difficult monsters. It's definitely not a team you want to normally use. I don't really think it's that good, but it's a team that can still do some work. Okay, so that's clear number 1. Don't worry about why my Traveler is dead. Sometimes things happen. Alright, so while we're waiting for that to respawn, let's also collect some of these Rukashava mushrooms. Hopefully I remember where some of the locations are. I do know that if you teleport to Apam Woods, right next to this teleport waypoint, there's actually quite a few. But other than that, my memory's a little bit fuzzy on where to get these mushrooms. There's also a merchant you can buy them from, which is probably what I'm going to do, just because I'm way too lazy to actually collect these myself. Rukashava mushrooms are just one of those materials that you don't want to collect, simply because you just don't know where they are. Yeah, you could look up a map, but that doesn't change the fact that they're pretty annoying to get. Also, not to mention that quite a few characters actually use Rukashava mushrooms, so if you're collecting them, you're going to have to collect them a bunch if you're upgrading multiple characters that use the material, so it just makes it pretty bad. I actually haven't been here in this part of Simuru for a long time. Ever since I completed Apam Woods on my main account, I just have never had a need to come back here. I do know there's a reputation quest somewhere right here, where you have to defeat an enemy, but I maxed out my Subaru reputation a long time ago, so there's kind of no point in coming back to Apam Woods. Next is Mawoi Tiwa Forest. I always forget the name of it, I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's basically the Mushroom Forest. Obviously, Mushroom Forest is going to have a lot of Rukashava mushrooms. Well, I hope. These mushrooms are just scattered all over the place, so it does have a pretty decent amount in this area, but you actually have to run around and collect them. Rukashava mushrooms are one of those materials that are not placed very close to each other, so you have to put in some effort to go collect some. I'm currently not in a rush to upgrade Kale, but I think it's good to just preemptively collect these materials, because it can be pretty annoying to get to Rukashava mushrooms, and you might as well just collect them early so you don't have to worry about it later. Okay, last but not least, let's buy the Rukashava mushrooms from this guy in Gandharvaville. Now, who in their right mind would sell Rukashava mushrooms when they're so hard to collect? Apparently this guy over here is generous enough to do that. He only sells 5, but it's better than nothing. Alright, let's go back to the Hydrotopla. Now, I could change my world level to 6, but I'm just gonna make the fights a little bit easier. I don't want to sit here for 5 minutes trying to kill a single Hydrotopla, so I think it's easier just to kill it at an easier level, get 2 at a time, and basically just take my time. And round 2 completed. Also, I forgot to mention, I have 5 standard fates for some reason. I don't remember where I got them, but let's just see what we get. Looks like nothing. A 4-star. That's pretty good. Oh, we got the most broken character in the game. Nice. Nothing. Nothing. Final one. And nothing. Well, let's upgrade Bennett and get a free standard fate from it. Let's see if we can claim the 4-star that we can get. Ningguang also has a standard fate as well. So I wasn't really keeping track, but I think this should be a 4-star. One of these two. Okay, so it looks like this one. Maybe something good? No, the game won't let me have anything good. Okay, how about while we wait, we also get more of these shimmering nectars. I remember farming water flower materials for so long, so I have memorized tons of spots for them. Surprisingly, water flowers are pretty common in Liyue, so if you go to this area, you can spot a bunch of them, collect all of their material, and then you never have to worry about it ever again. That was also a pretty lucky drop from that specific whopper flower. Up next we have this whopper flower here. Wow, the difference in drops. This one only dropped 3 of the regular ones. That one dropped the other 2 tiers. There's also this whopper flower and Abyss Mage when you teleport to the weapon material domain in Mondstadt. You just go behind it, climb up here. They're both right here. Sometimes that NPC also pops up, but we're not interested in helping her. Same drop as the other one. I don't expect too much though because my world level is pretty low. I'm usually used to getting a bunch of whopper flower drops because world level 8. But here, I'll just settle with what I get. Round 3. The last 2 times I have to do it before I can get Farina to level 70. I could probably compile a better team to deal with this thing, but then again, my characters aren't really upgraded to deal with this, so I think this is the best setup I can actually do. I don't know. Hydro damage bonus. This can actually be pretty good on Farina for a little while. Let's actually go ahead and put this on her, just in case I forget. And while we're at it, maybe let's put a 4-piece Berserker on her. Actually, scratch that, my Berserker pieces are actually pretty bad. But let's get this to level 16. These are your typical artifact rolls. Alright, so let's go ahead and craft the necessary materials to ascend Farina. I need shimmering nectars and 3 of these bigger chunks. So after a little bit of crafting, I have enough materials to get her to level 70. I just have to wait for the Hydro Tulpa one more time. I guess there's nothing else to do except wait. Alright, so the last and final time I have to deal with this thing, and then we can get Farina to 70. I'm gonna be honest, this boss is actually pretty hard to fight if you're not well equipped to fight it. So it's kind of a pain, but it's fine. Also, it looks like we got a very good artifact piece here, which I will probably roll and get really bad subsets on. So let's actually see if that's possible. Speaking of possible, it looks like it is possible to get 3 material at world level 5. I actually don't think it's a very high chance though, so don't rely on it. Let's put it on Chongling, probably the best user of it at the moment. Wow. That's a lot of crit rate. Pretty surprising. Crit damage? Wait, this is if it rolls into crit one more time, this is going to be an all crit piece on a 4-liner. Well, I really want to find out what this will roll into, so I'll just get rid of my last artifact here. One more crit roll, maybe? Never mind. This is still, what is this, 13% crit rate? 26. This is almost 40% crit value. That's pretty good, actually. Well, it looks like I don't have another gladiator piece that I can use on her. I do have this one, but it's really bad, so I'll just skip the 2-piece set for now. So once I get a better gladiator piece, then it will complement this piece really well. Anyway, this is what we were trying to do the whole time. Farina to level 70. Hopefully I have enough XP books to get her level 70. Let's see if it's enough. And it looks like it is. Very nice. So now that she's no longer level 60, we can also ascend her to level, or her talent to level 5 here. We also got this talent here, which will basically make her elemental skill do more damage. So that's really nice to have. Now we have a really good off-field Hydro DPS character. So let's go test this out on some of the ley lines. It's actually double ley line event at the moment, so yeah, let's go test it out. I'm a genius, I didn't even pull out Farina for this fight. It's okay, I'll pull her out for the next fight. Kinda forgot I was trying to test her out. I have the memory of a goldfish, don't mind me. 7 purple hero wits and 13 red adventurers experience. That's actually pretty good. So level 70 should be a pretty big power spike. Farina should be able to do a lot more damage now, especially with that new talent that she unlocked. So let's see what work she can do. I don't have really good artifacts though, so I don't expect it to be amazing, but at least somewhat of an upgrade from before. It looks like a pretty good improvement. Before she was kind of attacking like a pea shooter, but now she's doing a decent amount of damage. And let's do this one more time. So I've seen her do around 4,000 damage, which is actually pretty good for her current setup. But then again, she is the Hydro Archon, so I can't really say that I'm surprised. If she was not as good as Yelan or Xingqiu, people would be very upset at Hoyoverse. So I'm gonna end it here for this one. In the coming episodes, I will start focusing more on world quests. As for the Archon quests, I'll probably just do those off screen. If you want to watch the Archon quest again, you can definitely just search on YouTube. I'm pretty sure someone else has uploaded it before. But I'll probably just include some funny parts of the story, just real quick in the beginning of the videos maybe. But I don't intend to make entire episodes just based off of one Archon quest. But yeah, I will see you in the next one.